Hello traders, welcome to this weekly Forex market overview. It's me here again, Pierre from PAFX. Once again, I hope you all had a great trading week last week, especially those of you who used to follow these weekly overviews, and as you see, week after week we keep nailing it. So yeah, another new week, another trading opportunities to look at. Welcome everyone. There's many of you here, so I will not be mentioning names, do not forget anyone. Please, as usual, if you like these sessions, hit the like button. Oh, I see I have one dislike already before we started. Is it so bad, guys? Well, anyway, welcome. Let's start with the disclaimer and the usual thing. Please read this carefully and consider the risk involved in trading. These sessions are only my way in seeing the market and should not be considered as a signal in any way. So, we start with some news for next week, and it looks like to be all about New Zealand and Aussie next week. Cash rate and official cash rate in Aussie Tuesday, official cash rate New Zealand on Wednesday, and some USD news. And Friday we do have RBA monetary policy statement, as you see down here, and we have manufacturing production month on month on sterling. So not as much news as last week, but there is some important ones, especially this one gonna be important to look at. The ECB President Draghi speaks. So as usual, guys, keep your eyes on the news. One more thing we have on OPEC, the 7th of November, Tuesday next week, press conference and launching of OPEC's World Oil Outlook. It's also an important event and conference to keep an eye on for those of you who trade oils or those of you who trade currency that can be correlated to oil as the CAD. Yeah, that was it about the news, and let's get started with the Dixie as usual. So guys, Dixie last week, well, on the daily we can agree that we had a sideways market still. It seems like the 94.45 is still the important level to the downside. Dixie couldn't break that. I was expecting some lower at least to retest this neckline, but it seemed that down here, the end of this week, where we have the 94.30 was the level that is respected on the Dixie, and as you see, we never was able to break and close below that to give us a little bit lower. Yeah, so NFP, we got mixed news last week, and seems like the market was looking mostly on the unemployment rate that was better than expectation. Wages still not looking to grow very good yet, but since we have such a good unemployment rate in the US, maybe that will push the wage growth later on this year when there is such a low unemployment rate. So market did the usual thing that happened on NFP, spikes everyone, and then went back up all the way and closed at 94.92. So we still have this range that is the key range we should be looking at. As you see here, the range is clear now, and the extreme of it is up in this area up here, 95.15. A little bit higher than that, we have this previous structure to be retested. We have the monthly R1 also. If we get to reach that level, we may see a possible bounce from that area. I am bullish on the dollar, and the buying opportunity would be, of course, the retest of these levels back down here, and once again at this area, or the monthly pivot point and previous neckline. That would be still the best level to look at. But as you see, the range is clear, and we should be looking at first if we got another retest here for another bounce from this area. This range is very clear, and now it is much easy to spot. This is the lower range down here, and here we have this extreme of it that we may got tested. On the daily, once again, the RSI is at the extremes still, but it is going sideways. As you see here, it is going flat, and the lower test, that is the best area. We are now above the 100 daily moving average, and once again, long term, it seems that we may keep moving higher. The question is how deep can it correct, or is it going to give us that correction or not? So let's take a look on the gold to have some other intermarket correlation here to look at that may help us. And if we look at the gold, guys, as you see, last week was also almost a sideways. It was one attempt to break above the monthly pivot point, didn't work well, and then we got rejected. As you see, Thursday, clear rejection from this level. So Friday came in with another bearish day, and it seems like the range between 1260 and 1280 is still the range area that we should be looking at on gold to give us some help on the way. So the lows down here from October is still the area that gold bulls should be defending. As you see down here, this level is the very important level now. I think if this level got broken, we may see more down movement on gold to at least reach the monthly S1, and the lows from August we have at this area that may act as another possible support. 1252 down here is the first structure to look at if gold break the 1260 area down here. Yeah, it still looks short-term heavy. As you see, we have this impulse and this possible correction higher that couldn't break and hold above to see some possible continuation higher. Yeah, so gold still looking heavy, and there is more room to the downside. The levels are once again the 1260 area back down here is the first area to look at for a possible bounce back up on gold, and it seems like we may see that move possibly next week. On the 4 hour, let me go down to that time frame. Let's see, we do have some connection issues, sorry for that, guys. On the 4 hour, as you see, we couldn't break these highs. We're still trading below the 100 and 200 moving average that been acting up here as dynamic resistant, and once again this area between the two moving average on the 4 hours still acting as good resistant dynamic resistant level. Yeah, so once again, even on the 4 hour, it still looks like we may reach this level and test it. Next week would be the level to look at first, if it's gonna hold or breaks. Okay, a breakdown here should send the dollar much higher, and there is more room downside. As I showed you earlier, guys, the level's gonna be around the monthly S1, and the lows from August would be the next level to look at in case the 1260 got broken. Yeah, oil, the main idea I had about this ABCD move complete, and that was completed here, is now invalidated, since we broke a new high. We broke the highs, the extreme highs of January 2017 here, as you see, and we should wait and see if this breakout is a real breakout or not. And to confirm that, we want to see on lower time frame a retest and another bounce from this level, which may send oil back toward the monthly R1 at these area up here. So the possible resistance is now broken. We have those news on Tuesday on oil, which gonna be an important thing to look at. We are trading above the daily 200 moving average. Nothing has changed in the trend since we broke now this area. It still looks bullish, and there is some more room to the upside. As you see, if oil stay above this level after the retest, and if the price got accepted in this area, we do have now the 200 weekly moving average coming from above, and we are trading between the 100 and the 200 on the weekly. The extreme high on oil is the 62.60 level, which is the highs from the 2015, May 2015. But once again, we want to see the oil really hold this level and not get rejected back below next week. So if we get a rejection back below, we may see another retest and possible bounce back down. But the trend is still to the upside, and of course we should be looking at first. Let's go down to the 4 hour. We want to see if this is gonna hold now this level here for another bounce, or if it's gonna go back below. If we break these lows down here, then there is a possibility that we test lower. Yeah, that is those are the scenarios for oil for next week. Once again, don't forget to take a look at this World of Oil outlook on Tuesday. It seems like we're having connection issues. Is anyone else having connection issues? I will wait a little bit and see if there is anyone else having issues with the connection. Let me check my... Yeah, it says that there is bad connection. 1 minute, guys. Sorry for that. yeah, I'm working on it. Let's see if I can do something else here, but it seems to be a major problem because the connection dropped to red status right now, and I'm not sure why. Oof. So, uh, sorry for that, guys. I had to restart everything with my internet, my laptop, and the whole thing again. I see that many of you did leave the room. I will wait like 1 minute or so to give the chance to everyone else to join again. And I'm not sure which part we did. Did everyone got the oil forecast? Then I will get started with Aussie, Jappy, and keep going. Yeah. So please give me some feedback if we are good to go again. It seemed that everything is green from my side now. Good, very good and fast connection, and I have no errors at all. It says the streaming quality is good here again, so I hope we are good to go. Okay, so let's go back and do oil fast. Once again, guys, as I said, we did break a very important level. We want to see if this breakout is a real breakout. That means if this level gonna hold and give us another bounce higher. The main trend is still to the upside, and that is the first thing we want to do, is to see if this area now is really broken and gonna hold for a possible continuation. And I did show you that the extreme high is 62.75, but we do have this OPEC important meeting on Tuesday and press conference that we should be listening to and see if they give us any signal of how the supply and demand is going in this field. Yeah, so that was basically what I was saying about oil before we get stopped. Forex, Aussie Jappy, exactly at the level I mentioned last week in the weekly overview. We got this bearish engulfing on Friday, because we've been looking, as those of you who've been watching last week, I was looking for a possible retest of this level and continuation lower. Now we got that first move to the downside. It's looking good. I think one of the guys in my trading room took this trade, and it's looking very, very good, because we are anticipating this now lower high, another lower low, and possible lower high, and continuation to reach these this level down here somewhere in this area. That should be the trouble level down here, where we also have the daily 200 moving average coming from below. That may be the level of support once again to the downside. That is the area. We do have the monthly S1, we're gonna have the daily 200 moving average, and we do have this previous structure support that may hold as a good support level. Yeah, so if you are holding a short down here, these areas should be the level you're looking at for a possible take profit. And of course, if that got broken, it's gonna send us much lower down to these levels down here. I'm not sure that we're gonna see that, but for next week, let's take it 1 week at a time. For next week, the first trouble area gonna be these lows. You want to see these lows broken, and if that happen, if we get the breaks of these lows, then we may see a continuation back down to these areas. Yeah. So keep looking for short-term continuation of this move, at least to reach this neckline. Yeah. Aussie USD, same. Last week I said we have two levels to look at. The first one is the 38.2 and previous structure resistance that were broken, or that would be much even better if we got a deeper correction. We didn't get that deeper correction. We had the retest of first structure and the monthly pivot point, and at that same level we had the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement, and Friday after this bearish engulfing candle, we now can be looking for a possible continuation lower. We want to see this low broken, and if that happened, this may send this pair even lower to at least the monthly S1, where we also have our first structure, and the major structure support gonna be down here around the 0.75 area, where we also have a possible completion of this ABCD and the extension of 1.618 Fibonacci extension. Yeah, so trend continuation, and if you are holding a short, look firstly for a break of this low, and if that happened, your second level to look at gonna be these levels down here. Okay, and as you see, we are now trading back below the 200 daily moving average. It was a try to break it, and then it didn't. It failed, and we closed much lower, with one day that took out like 3 or 4 days, as you see here. So it seems like bears are still in control, and we should keep following this leg to the downside. Euro Aussie, this neckline is still holding now on the daily. Daily structure is sideways last week, but if we go down to the 4-hour, you see that we had a break of this trend line and a bounce from this level, where I said that we should be looking for a possible bounce from this important level. We got the bounce. It seems like for now as a possible retest of a broken trend line, or a retest of the monthly pivot point level also, and there is a possibility that we see another try to reach this level down here. Yeah, what we want to look at, if this level gonna get broken or not, but if we're looking at the Aussie USD, if that pair keep going lower, then this may go up if the euro get little stronger. If everything keep going as it looks like now, the euro weak and the Aussie weak, I think that this may go like give us sideways movement in this box here next week. As you see here, this box is now the range we are looking at, and it is a box play. And once again, what we do in a box play, we buy the lows and sell the highs until one side is broken. For me, I would gladly see a sell from the high for to look if we're gonna break this to the downside now. Okay, but depends how they both do against the USD, and there is a possibility once again that we may see some sideways on this pair until we break the box. EuroCAD, we didn't do this pair last week, but now it is interesting to start looking at again, since we had this break, retest, and possible continuation. We now break these this low here, which means that we may see a continuation lower to at least these areas back down here. So if you are holding a short, you can keep holding that short and look for a possible target down here. I think at this level we may see a possible bounce, since we do have the daily 200 moving average coming from below now, and the 100 moving average is also close, getting closer. If you want to take a short-term trade in anticipation that this move continue down to this level, of course you want to look for a possible retest of this broken structure, looking for bearish evidence, and once again these area down here should be the level that you should be watching carefully if we're gonna see another bounce from this area back up. Yeah, let's go back to the daily. As you see, once again, if the price reach this level, we may have the 200 at that same level also. Yeah, and if we take a Fibonacci retracement tool to see if we have any confluence at that level too, we do have actually the 61.8 at this level too. We have the monthly S1 that may act as support, the daily 200 moving average, and the level itself. It looks like a good flip zone for support and resistance, as you see here in this area, and this last bounce down here. Yeah, so very important level to look at for next week. EuroJappy was expecting a higher test after, as I said last week, we should be looking where the price is testing right now and see if we're gonna get another retest of the highs. We got 3 bullish days, and then Friday was bearish engulfing that took out the both previous days. Seems to be a strong move, and it seems to be that we are heading back down to retest of these this area here. The 132 level is once again the level that we should be looking at. Now we did break lower on the 4-hour time frame. You see it more clearly. We broke these levels down here, so there is a possibility that we do a retest of these levels, and we should be looking at a little bit lower this time. As you see here, back down here is the support level, back here was acting as good resistant level, and it is the level that we should be looking at for possible bounce, another bounce, or if it gonna breaks and send us even lower to the monthly S1 once again. Yeah, since the pair never broke the 200 moving and the daily and the 100 moving average on the 4-hour, make us see if this is now acting as possible dynamic resistance. As you see on the 4-hour, both the 100 and the 200 are now at the same level. RSI is heading lower and lower. So once again, if the price reaches this level, I think the RSI gonna also be on the oversold, and we may get at least a short-term bounce to the upside on this in this area. Yeah, we still on the daily trading above the 100 and above the 200. This consolidation area still valid. This box is still valid, and we should once again keep trading this bounce market until we see a break to the downside that may send us back down in this lower box, or a break to the upside should send us much higher, and if it is a clear break and a retest from above. Yeah, so keep it simple, trade these ranges until we see a clear break. The extremes of the range are clearly showed in this here. Here we have the extreme highs and we have the extreme lows. The best way is to make business back down here or up here and leave this middle area. No need to trade these levels, because the price still could go both up or down from the middle of the range. Yeah, Euro sterling, I was saying last week that we should be looking for this level for a possible bounce, and clearly we got doji at this level when the price reached this level, or a hammer, whatever you call it, but it was a rejection. We never broke below previous structure, and it is an important level. And as you see, the daily 200 moving average was also at that same level, which could be a good dynamic support. We had possibly some Fibonacci confluence at that level. Let's look at that. Not much of Fibonacci confluence though. From this leg at least, we didn't have anything, just the 50 and the 61 area between those two. But what make me most interested of the level is of course the structure itself and the 200 daily moving average. Now we had this bounce, very strong bounce on Thursday after the sterling news, and we did reach the monthly R1, which always a good resistant level, and we did reach the 100 daily moving average and previous structure. So I'm expecting possible bounce market now, that we may see another move to the downside, maybe another bounce back down here. That would be great to try to look for a possible bounce once again. Yeah, or if this market gonna find support at this previous structure level, as you see here, we do have this structure, this neckline, looking at as it was a good support level in the past. We have the monthly pivot point that now got broken and could be a possible area to look at for a possible something like this for another bounce to the upside. Yeah, so it is now in the middle once again. We have this range now and we are in the middle of it. The better way is to try to trade once again, do business at the extremes, highs or lows. Yeah, could be a sideways market for this pair for next week. but you can clearly see this level is a good possible first level to look at short term. Longer term, this down here is once again the most important level in my opinion. Euro New Zealand still holding well. We were looking for a break of this neckline, but you see it is very, very clean now, and it seems like it wants to break this level. I see that we still may see bounce at least to this level down here. This shelf here should be the level we can look at for next week, that we may see possible support at this level down here. And we do have as we said some good and strong catalyst news on the New Zealand, so we may see that happen next week. I'm looking at this head and shoulder scenario, and this neckline is still intact for now. As you see, it's holding well, but the highs are getting lower all the way, but we never broke the neckline. Yeah, so to me this looks like it's building up for a possible break below this neckline for at least retest of this level down here. Yeah, this is the first area to look at, and of course if that got broken, it may send us to retest these lows back down here. Yeah, that would be great trade if we got that. EURUSD. Last week I was talking about trend continuation, that we may see more to the downside after a possible retest of these levels. That was the area I wanted to trade from, but as you see guys, we never broke much higher. It seems that this area is still very, very strong resistant, and you see how it is a narrow range now in this on the daily. We broke the 100 moving average. We did a retest of both the 100 moving average and the monthly pivot point and previous structure. Now Friday was very strong to the downside after the NFP numbers, and if we go down to the 4 hour, you see it more clearly. I was looking for a retest of the 61.8. that would be the most, for me, that would be the most value level to trade from. We never got that. We had a 2 try to break this level. It didn't happen, and we got rejected on Friday very, very hard to the downside, which is in my bias that we may keep heading more lower on EURUSD. Yeah, so what do we have right now? If you are holding a short, it seemed that on the 4 hour we did break this level, this low here, and the next low is this one before we may keep going heading lower on this pair to reach the monthly S1, or the first area should be down here 1.15. yeah, so once again, short term, if you are holding a short, this area you should be looking at to see if we're gonna get a break, which I think it may happen next week. If you are not holding a short and you want to join this, the area is of course once again is a possible pullback level. Once again, if we get a pullback to this area, give you a signal, bearish evidence, then you could try to take another short and see if we're gonna break this level next week or not. Yeah, but I am bearish on this pair, and it depends on where is the best place to enter. This is very late now. and we should be looking for a pullback if we want to sell it. Yeah, we may not get that higher test, it seems so. Bulls did try and never was able to do so. Yeah, so keep an eye on gold also, because that gonna also give you more evidence. If gold break the 1260, this gonna keep heading lower also, the Euro USD. Sterling Aussie, as many sterling pairs after the rate statement went south very hard, but it did find support at the monthly S1, which is always a level that we should be expecting some support at. If we look at it structure wise, we still have higher highs up here, but now we did break a higher low for the first time since we broke up. And if we go down to the 4 hour, we can see this move to the upside as a possible retest of this structure, as you see here. So we broke previous structure, we went back in this box once again, this range. It is a very clear range, as you see here. So we are back inside that range, and the level where the pair is right now is the level we should be looking at if it's gonna hold or if it's gonna break to the upside. So we are looking firstly to see if this gonna give us a possible bearish evidence for another bounce to at least retest of the monthly S1 or this low back down here. If we see a break of this level, especially the monthly pivot point, if this level does not hold as resistant, we look for a break, we look for a retest and bullish evidence, then we may see retest of these highs. So two scenarios. I think the first one, that we may see a possible bounce at this level, is the first thing we should be looking at, since the price is already testing that level right now. But the 4 hour on the RSI still have some room to the upside, no divergence, no nothing. So it may happen that we see a little bit of correction down and another try to go higher. Since the daily, we still have this high is the highest high now. So before we say that this may keep going south, we want to see our first lower high too. We now have a lower low, we want to see a lower high too, and that could be the reason to see that there is a possibility that we do test these areas down here, if so. But there is no lower high yet, and we're still above the 100 and the 200 daily moving average, yeah, which for me is always bullish if we are trading above those on the daily. But once again, you see the level is it is a very clear good level to look at where the price is right now, yeah. Sterling JP, we were expecting continuation to reach the monthly R1 or the extreme high here, but we got rejected Thursday and Wednesday, and Thursday got this very strong move to the downside after the news. We are back inside this lower box. We broke the 100 and the 200 moving average on the 4 hour. We broke below the monthly pivot point. We breaking a new structure low here on the 4 hour. It looks like we did a retest of the 100, as you see, and there is a possibility that we see another leg to continue this 1, 2, 3 to the downside. And of course, the levels we are looking at is the monthly S1 in these previous structures, and the extreme low gonna be the low of this box down here as a first trouble area or target or possible bounce from this level once again. Yeah, so if you are holding a short, you can looking at the monthly S1 and these lows down here as possible first trouble area, as you see here. Yeah. So for me, next week, if the price reaches this level, I'm gonna be looking for a possible bounce from this area once again. Because it is the most important level looking left. It is a major level that we should be looking for a possible strong support at. We are still above the 100 and the 200 on the daily, so the long term should be still to the upside. Sterling New Zealand, this is almost looking at the same chart on all of them, especially on the Sterling CAD and Aussie. We now have, after this last high, this last late buyers got trapped on this breakout here, and then we had this clear rejection to the downside. We now broke the neckline once again, another pair that break previous structure, broke this neckline, monthly pivot, and there is a possibility that we see, if we got another retest of the neckline, that we see another bounce to the monthly S1, which is the most important level in this chart for a possible continuation of this trend. This would be the first level to look at for a possible bounce higher. Yeah. Now, what will happen and what will not happen for next week is what we should be looking at. But for me, if we go down to the 4 hour, you see that this area here should be a good level to look at for a possible retest and another bounce to reach this level. Now we do have major low. We're still waiting for a possible major lower high once again. As you see, this is another lower high. We broke previous structure, retest, and possible another leg to monthly S1, and that would be the level to look for a possible bounce back up. Sterling USD. Now this is very good level where the price is testing right now. It is a very important level. As you see, this range is very clear now. We are trading near the daily 100 moving average. We broke below it, and Friday it was a try to close back above it. Didn't happen. The price did close below the 100 once again. Structure wise, I still think the this level is the very important level. 1.300 area down here is the very important structure level if we're gonna go lower or not. So where the price is testing right now is the level we should be looking at. There is, as you see on the RSI, we are on the extreme oversold. We are around the monthly S1. We did close this gap from this gap here from the NFP, and the previous NFP, not this one we had this month. So I'm still looking for a possible, if we got another retest to extreme lows, for a possible at least a bounce back up from this level. Yeah, so it is this range we are trading right now. Another clear box, still going sideways, and that's what make me think that is good, still good level to try to buy from if we got another pullback lower to these extreme lows. Yeah. And of course the take profit levels should be at least up here or if you want to hedge the position. It depends on your trading style, but this level is now a very important level. And let's say for another scenario, if you want to trade a continuation, you want to see this level broken, retested, then that may send us back down to the lower box. As for now, it is important support, and we should try be buying it and selling these highs in, if so. Yeah, so as you see, the 100 did cross the 200 for a while now. We're still trading above both of them. The most important thing for me that we're still trading above the 200 moving average on the daily, which for me is still bullish long term. But for next week, I showed you what the possibilities are short term. New Zealand USD, we got this completion. We got the trade last week. We are holding, me and a couple students, we are holding, still holding the 0.6840 trade. We did hedge our way down a couple of times on this bounce. We had this area that we've been hedging. It seems like we are making more money on hedging it to the on the way down more than the initial long. The levels are for next week is, of course, the first level is where we have the price. It seems the price heading to retest this neckline. This is the first level I'm looking at for a possible bounce higher. Or of course, if we get another retest of these extremes, once again, that would be the level to try to, if we want to add to the position, is from this level. So 4 hour, we now broke this neckline of this possible double bottom. It is still a sideway. We still have a clear box. This upper box is the range. We had this lower box that we broke, and we start trading higher above it. So if this upper box hold and give us some bullish evidence on lower time frame, like the 1 hour or so, then that would be good level to look at for a possible trend reversal, is what we are looking for. And this high is a very important high to see a break of. If that happened, that would maybe send us even higher to retest much higher levels. As we know, the pair have been trading for a long time to the downside. We now reached yearly important level, and that what make me think that we may see at least a retest of this broken structure up here. That would be great. So for me, the risk to reward on this trade is very good, and I will keep trying to buy this level until I see something completely different, which is a break of this structure. Then we may keep going lower. Yeah, but once again, big news for New Zealand next week. Maybe the catalyst for the strong bounce to the upside, or if we're gonna break this very important level, then we may reach the monthly S1 and this important previous structure. I don't like to sell when the price is so low, especially with support that's still holding. No sell for me, just hedging sell intradays, what we are doing, but long term I want to buy. USD CAD was expecting to reach this structure up here before we see a possible downside on that, and the reason is this, as you see, clear nice structure that I was looking at to see a retest. We didn't really retest that level. We start heading lower from the 50% retracement of this whole move. Now we have this downtrend is clearly now violated, since we making higher highs and higher lows. We did break this previous high, we did break this also, this high here. We are trading back above the 100 moving average, but still below the 200, which is more important. And as you see, the 200 is at this level up here. The RSI was at the extreme. We had bearish divergence, so there was, all the signal was there for a possible shorting here, this double top, and the divergence was extreme. I think a couple of guys in my room did take this short, and still adding to it. We were looking for a break of this neckline, the first one, and the second one was down here, and for a possible retest and continuation, at least to the monthly S1 back down here. And we're still looking for the same scenario for next week. So to see it better, you can go lower to the 1 hour. As you see, this is broken, this is now broken, and there is not much on the way. Yeah, so we possibly had already a retest and a continuation. If this low got broken, that we may see another leg to the downside, and this candle is the possible support level, the first possible support level before it reached the monthly S1. And looking at oil now above important structure, and if oil keep heading higher, then we may really see this move continue to the downside. Yeah. USD JP. Oh my God, the bulls are not letting this pair down. But still, it's still to the upside. But of course, we are reaching now. You see this 114.50 is still the major resistance. Once again, we did a retest of the monthly pivot point here and got a very strong bounce, and as you see, it have been a very strong fight Thursday and Friday. Now Friday candle was, yeah, indecision or whatever you want to call it, but none did win this fight here on Friday. We start having some bearish divergence. Of course, this is now trading above the 100 and the 200. It seems like the 100 gonna cross soon above once again. I'm still bullish long term on this pair, but I think we may, if we want to buy, of course we want to look to buy from lower. So for next week and intraday, this is the range we should be looking at. Here you have them, both the upper box and the lower box. As you see on the 4 hour, we do have the price still above the 100 and the 200 moving average. So intraday trading, as you see, this market is now in the upper box and sideways. So if we get another retest, bearish evidence, we try to sell the highs to another bounce to the monthly pivot, and once again, if we get bullish evidence at this level, is the level we should be looking at to try intraday once again. Yeah, for a longer term, I want to see a deeper correction on the daily to maybe take a swing position for a trend continuation higher if we break this important resistance. So if the price break the upper box and start trading in the lower box, you can see it once again. The 111.70 is the low, the first low we should be looking at for a possible bounce up here. Yeah. Clear range, and it is very easy to spot intraday level on this one for now, but on the daily, as you see, we have now very strong move higher, correction, higher low, another correction, couldn't break higher, another higher low, and this last try here last week we couldn't break once again this very important resistant level. If that got broken, then we have a lots of room up. The first trouble area should be the 115.50. So I hope you had some good scenarios for this one, both short term and longer term. For the longer term, I think it would be, if we're gonna hold a longer term trade, that would be from this level. That would be great level to try to take a long for, but that wouldn't happen next week. I don't think so. So keep trading those boxes for next week. Should be doing well doing that. We do have bearish bearish divergence on the 4 hour. If we look at this high and this high and this high and this high. And that was the last pair we had for today. Sorry for that connection problem. Sorry for all of you that had to wait for me to restart everything. So once again, guys, if you did like the session, if you do want me to keep doing them, don't forget to hit the like button. If you don't like them, comment in the comment section below. So, any other questions before we call it a day, or any other pairs you want to a review about? You're welcome, Felipe. Angelica, you're welcome. USD Turkey, Turkish lira, let's see. Yeah, man, this trend keep going higher and higher once again. If we look at the weekly, you see that we are now reaching the extreme highs from January 2017. So yeah, the trend is of course clearly to the upside, but since we're reaching such extreme highs, we should be cautious. Yeah, so on the weekly we're still trading this. No, this pair seems to have only one way longer term, but after this broken wedge here, or pennant or flag or whatever you want to call it, we had the break, and it seems going very, very strongly to the upside. So I don't have any fundamentals about Turkish lira, but looking at this trend, it seems that it just keep going higher and higher. But once again, we are on the weekly, the RSI at the extremes. We are reaching previous structure highs. So without knowing much of the fundamental about the Turkish lira, if we only talk technicals, we are reaching an important level that we may see at least a possible bounce short term on the pair. So I can only talk technicals right now, and it seems that this major range top is now reached very, very soon. It seems to keep breaking new highs. Yeah, so of course we want to, if you are holding a long, your target should be at the extremes highs up here, and that there is a possibility that this area gonna be heavily defended by the bears at this level up here. Yeah, okay. For a trend continuation, the first level should be a retest back down. This first level could be, if you get a pullback to this area, then you may, if you get bullish evidence, you may take another push to the upside in a trend continuation scenario. So the levels are clear The second level would be back down here once again, yeah, but it is heading to reach the extreme highs, and of course the first thing we want to look at is a possible bounce from this level. We already having divergence, bearish divergence on the RSI. As you see here, we have this top. Why it's not working? As you see here, this top and these two tops is lower, but on the price it's going higher, yeah. So there is a clear bearish divergence, and very important, this is a historical all-time high here, so some reaction gonna be at this level. I'm almost sure of that. I hope that makes some sense for you, buddy. Let's see, do we have anything else? USD Turkey, we done that. You're welcome, guys. You're welcome, for all of you who are telling me thank you for this. Abandoned baby candles, what about them? The most you're gonna see them mostly in the stock market, and actually, Bruce, it doesn't matter what you call all the candles, and those candles are only useful for us if we use them in context with structure, yeah. So if you got that abandoned baby or any hammer or whatever, if it is not on a structure level, it is nothing for me. It doesn't mean anything. So the first and most important thing is the value where those pattern happens. Do they happen at a important value level or not? John, no, I'm not going to take any trade tonight when the market open. I usually try to let Monday pass. I'm still holding New Zealand USD, and I'm still holding the long and the short hedge. So I did just hedge that position long. So I'm not opening any new trade on the market opens. No, possibly on Tuesday if things start getting to the level where I want them to be at. You're welcome, Bruce. I hope that answered your question. Nice looking chart, this Turkish lira, actually. But I did trade it in the past, but now I'm not trading it a lot. I think I had a trade on this bounce here, this first bounce. I was expecting to keep going actually, but we never got that. But yeah, interesting chart at the moment. Okay, guys, I don't see any other questions. Thanks a lot for being here, and see you out there over Facebook, Telegram. My lovely students, see you in the room, and peace for all of you. Bye bye.